perhaps you want to go somewhere where the people are considered friendly.
Okay, so now the digital financial service company Remitly has compiled a list of the friendliest countries in the world. The #1 rated country was South Africa.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when we look at the South African people, there is a collective harmony that exists. They all will come for you. If you are not South African and you talking about South Africa, that's one thing South Africans will do. They will come for you and they will come for each other when one misspeaks or steps out of line. You don't see that in the US.
Personally, I do not want anyone to be victimized. Not black, white, Indian, or colored South Africans. Not even foreigners in South Africa. I do, however, want the facts to be spoken about freely without anyone feeling like they are being xenophobic, bigots, or anything like that for telling the truth.
And I want to echo what my colleague has said. Being for South Africa is not being against anyone.
And we are saying that we don't have a problem with foreigners coming to our country. However, we want foreigners that qualify.
I think if the foreigners were coming into South Africa legally, that was going to be like a little bit like easier for us.
Mackenzie argues that there's nothing wrong with South Africans questioning the legitimacy of her nationality.
She's South African, we will wish her well. But if she's not South African, we can't have her represent us on the world stage.
I'm just saying that we are not anti-anyone. It is not an anti-African agenda. It's not an anti-Asian agenda. It's an agenda of saying let's prioritize our people.
That this is not a hate-filled campaign. It's not a hate-filled campaign. Simply campaign to say that we are all equal before the law as Africans.
You can come to South Africa without a visa and stay for 3 months, which is amazing because a lot of the other surrounding African countries require a visa and it's like $50 to $100.
The other part that I'm going to deal with is South Africans themselves. We are growing in our reputation as xenophobic, right? Oh, South Africans, you guys are just xenophobic. And it was intense online. You know it. I don't have to tell you. So I was like, I wish there was a platform where we could discuss, is it really xenophobia? Is it really? Because we've lived with conscripted minors in this country from the 30s and the 40s.
South Africans are not xenophobic.
South Africans
I've traveled
are
the
not.
world. I've traveled Africa.
Not xenophobic.
If you have not lived in South Africa, consult any of your friends who have lived here, even for a short period of time. They'll tell you how friendly we are.
So where does it come from?
How welcoming we are. How kind we are. How sweet.
Yeah. So we were in South Africa for 3 months.
3 months.
And we didn't really see any of that. Like, obviously, it's like a melting pot. There's a lot of people from different African countries, all in South Africa, and we didn't see any of that. Now, we know, once again, these things do happen, but it's on the level that people make it out to be. It's like, it couldn't be that heavy and not see it in the amount of time we were there, you know?
And yeah, we didn't roll with different Uber drivers, which most of them are from different African countries, and they've been here for tens of years and explained to us how they love South Africa. Now, we haven't been with everybody and haven't talked to every single African, but just from our experience, it doesn't seem like it's just a huge issue.
Telling me this whole time, we're being told that South Africans are not good and they hate other Africans, and they, when that's actually not true. These illegal migrants, illegal immigrants in their country are literally doing harm.
Where we could discuss, is it really xenophobia? Is it really? Because we've lived with conscripted minors in this country from the 30s and the 40s.
South Africans are not xenophobic.
South Africans
I've traveled
are
the
not.
world. I've traveled Africa.
Not xenophobic.
If you have not lived in South Africa, consult any of your friends who have lived here, even for a short period of time. They'll tell you how friendly we are.
So where does it come from?
How welcoming we are. How kind we are. How
financial service company Remitly has compiled a list of the friendliest countries in the world. The #1 rated country was South Africa.
Yeah.
Are you surprised to hear that?
No, I mean, I've never been to South Africa, but it seems like a lovely place. The way that they determine this is how agreeable people are.
They had like 5 characteristics, was it?
Yeah, and agreeable is one of them. So they had to answer questions and would show sort of their pro-social behavior, their empathy, their willingness to help people out. So, which is something that you'd want if you were visiting a country.
I didn't realize that there were so many languages that were spoken there. Official languages. I think it's like 9 or 10 official languages that are spoken there. So even if you go there and you don't speak the language, you shouldn't have a problem. There's someone who can help you in some way.
But South Africa has a unique culture.
And when you go to a place like South Africa, which is so different from what we're used to, like please, like just be open-minded. And don't just like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, just like when in South Africa, just embrace South African culture, just like when in South Africa, just embrace South African culture.
I have vouched for a country that has given me a second chance, that has given my children a home, not because I'm desperate, not because of any other reason, but because respecting somebody's home is human nature.